What's going on, everybody? It is Chris Aiken from Aftershocks, and just wanted to remind you before we give you this next great interview that you should be subscribed to the CMS Podcast Network, cmspn.com. That is the web address. You can watch, you can listen, you can subscribe. Everything you need to do to catch not only this episode, but everything that we've done in the past. It's all over there on the CMS Podcast Network, as well as great shows from the Classic Metal Show, Shockwave Skull Sessions, Talk to Me, and of course, Aftershocks TV. So sign up today and you will never be without entertainment again. All right, enough of this. Let me give you the interview you came here to see. It is Aftershocks right here on AftershocksTV.com, and today we're going to sing some lullabies, I guess, with this soft and soothing band known as Scour. They are back with a absolutely brutal end to their trilogy of EPs. This one just called the Black EP, and with us right now is the guitarist of Scour and Phil Anselmo and the Illegals, and you might know him from Cattle Decap back in the day. It is Derek Engemann. Derek, how are you, man?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
It's good to speak to you, man. I'm a fan, man, just in general, man. I loved when you were in Cattle. I love Scour. I love the Illegals. You can't make music heavy enough for me, so it's great to see somebody that's involved with a lot of it, man.
Cool, man.
Very cool, dude.
I've been fortunate to be part of many awesome projects over the years, so it's definitely cool to hear.
No doubt, man. Well, dude, let's talk about the Black EP. Third in a trilogy of sorts, and it fits, but it definitely shows I think it shows quite a bit of growth from you guys, you know, as far as it just feels tighter and more crisp and more punching in the face. Not that the others weren't. Is that how you guys feel about this one, or do you feel that they all just sort of work together, or what?
I definitely feel pretty much the exact same way. Like when we started out with the Gray EP, the first song, Dispatch, that was literally like the first demo that I wrote, and nothing was ever changed with it. And it works. I mean, it's still a great tune. I listened to it yesterday, actually, but I think there's just been a natural progression from Gray to Red was a big jump, I think. And then from Red to Black has been even more, like a lot tighter, you said. We went back to do a few things in the studio to make sure the guitars were like super crisp and heavy on like the chunky parts. But overall, I think it's definitely tighter and just better songs all around, really.
No doubt, man. Now, I'm going to be honest, Derek, I am not usually a fan of EPs just because I always feel like they kind of leave you hanging, wanting more, which I know is kind of okay. That's a good or a bad, depending on who you are, you know, but I honestly think for a band like Scour, it probably works a lot better. I don't know, as much as I like the tunes, I don't know that I could take an hour of Scour, you know. I think I would end up with a headache. Is that kind of by design for you guys to kind of just do these short 15-20 minute bursts of music, and then kind of, if people want more, they can wait a year or so and get the next one?
I would say it's kind of a two-part answer, yes and no. When we first started and we asked Phil to join up, I think he originally just thought it was going to be like 4 songs, and he was like, oh, I can knock this out easy. And so we ended up making it into an EP with 6 songs.
Right.
And we were like, well, the next EP, you know, next thing we do should also be 6 songs. And then John Jarvis and I always had the idea that it should just be 3 6 6 6 EPs. Right. So that was like conceptually like our idea. Whether or not everybody else was on board yet or not. But it is great to have the trilogy completed, honestly. It's kind of a little dream of mine, Scour being my baby and all. And the next progression is logically to go forward with the full-length album. Now, I don't think it's going to be like an hour and a half or anything like that. It's still going to be Scour, but it would be a full length album. So,
okay. So what would that mean? Like 30 minutes or in that range, you think?
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Okay.
We're
Yeah.
still putting ideas together for that. So,
Sure. Well, Derek, with Scour being your project, clearly Philip's legacy, I guess, steps in there, and people look at it as Phil's project, and I know you know that. I mean, that's the nature of the beast. That being said, does that put additional pressure on you and Jarvis to kind of keep more of the creative coming from you guys, so that it doesn't feel like your baby is taken away from you, so to speak?
I see that all over the place. People just labeling like Phil's black metal band,
Right.
And it's like, first of all, we're not black metal. We never claimed to be, but I don't take any offense to it whatsoever. We're lucky to have Phil's huge career, to bring new fans our way, and never once have felt slighted towards that at all. The writing process, I actually do all the writing.
Okay.
So surprisingly, Phil hasn't had me change anything from any of the music. So, and likewise, I would never have him change anything that he sent out, because it's just been exactly what we needed for Scour. But so there's never really been any pressure to change. And in fact, Jarvis and I always joke around. We always say, stick to the plan and don't ever overthink it, because when you start overthinking it, I think the project loses its, original fire, original intent. So we kind of just roll with the flow, and seems to be working out. And people can call whatever they want. They can call it black metal, Phil's new band, whatever. Doesn't bother me. I'm honestly just happy to see my little songs out in the world. So
sure. Given Phil's career, I guess, and obviously Pantera, one of the legendary of all legendary, and certainly Down has had significant commercial success as well. It kind of opens the door that you might not get opened otherwise with Scour, because those mainstream fans, those people that think that Cemetery Gates is the heaviest thing they've ever heard, they will at least give this a shot where they might not otherwise. Have you found that you gain a lot of mainstream people? I guess, do you see a lot of people when you do play shows that are wearing Pantera shirts that kind of gravitate to, okay, this is not, so heavy that I can't take it?
Yeah. I see it both ways. We definitely, having Phil in the band's opened up many doors for sure.
Sure.
I mean, we're definitely a new band with 3 EPs, and have gotten a lot of press, a lot of heat from it. A lot of times, there'll be Pantera shirts everywhere, which is awesome. Sure. I'm a big fan myself, of course. And, but I would say like the true Pantera fans, like the hardest fans who have never like really gone any heavier, they'll hear it and just be like, what is this garbage? You can't even understand him. Is that even Phil? And
right.
We're like, hey, that's cool. If it's not for you. But we also have seen a lot of people say, hey, I just checked this out and I love it, and some people say some of the best stuff he's done in years. And it's kind of funny. On this EP, we actually got a guest vocal from our buddy Jason Momoa,
right?
From Game of Thrones, Aquaman.
Sure.
And when he shared it, that opened up a whole new world of people, because I guarantee a lot of his fans have never even heard anything, maybe not even heard Pantera,
Right.
So we've seen a lot of newcomers just from that end as well. So it's pretty cool to see. And it's pretty brash and extreme for those who have never even like checked out extreme metal, but we can,
yeah,
Scour is Scour. So
right, exactly. And speaking of Momoa, how did that end up happening? What, did he come out to a show, or did you guys know him from before he was an actor, or how did you guys end up connecting?
Yeah, we met him on Slayer's final show at the Forum.
Okay.
He came out. I know he's good buddies with Gary Holt.
Okay.
And so he came out to the show, and I guess my guitar player, the Illegals, Mike DeLeon, had ran into him earlier in the night, and he's like, "Hey, make sure you swing by and say hi to Philip and the guys." And he's like, "Oh, cool." So it was right before we were about to go on stage. Actually, I see him walking in the hall, and he kind of gives me this look, and I was like, "Hey, you want to come in and say hi to the guys?" He's like, "Can I?" I was like, "Come on in." So we hung out just for a minute and met everybody, and then I said, "Hey, man, you got to come out and do some backing vocals on Walk with us tonight." And he's like, "Oh, I don't know." I was like, "Come on." And we didn't play Walk that night, unfortunately, but we played This Love.
Okay.
So him and his like kids came up on stage, and they're all singing on Mike's microphone, and it was just a really cool night. And then after the show, I talked to him for a bit and swapped numbers, swapped information, and we just had this idea a few months later. We were like, "Hey, I wonder if he'd be into doing a guest vocal." So I just, texted him, and he was immediately down to do it. Phil is like one of his heroes. So, yeah, we got him to just do a guest vocal, and it's been really cool. Feedback has been pretty awesome. Some mixed from the extreme diehards, I guess, but
Sure. Well,
it's been an awesome experience all around. He's a great guy.
Sure. And it is such an odd pairing. It's you take the most extreme music in the world and you combine it with one of the biggest, actors of the day, which, you're thinking that you're going to see him, listening to Kelly Clarkson or some shit like that because that's what those guys generally do. And here he is, metalhead to the core. That's awesome.
Big time. Yeah. Like if you follow him on like the social media, you'll see he'll be like skateboarding or like rock climbing, and he'll always have like Pantera or like Slayer like jamming in the background. He's definitely a metalhead to the core.
Sure, definitely.
Cool. It's cool
Nice.
to see.
Well, Derek, listening to especially the Black EP, but really all three of the EPs, the one thing that really stands out to me is that, and you kind of touched on it without even meaning to, it's really hard to define this. People are going to say black metal. People are going to say death metal. People are going to say thrash. People are going to say noise. People, there's a lot of elements, and it almost seems like you kind of twist and turn them instead of having a direct idea. How do you come up with the songs? Do you come up with pieces and then arrange them, or do you come up with a full song, or does it all start from a riff, or what?
I was just thinking about this the other day. The songs kind of, or at least a big portion of the song will kind of hit me at once.
Okay.
And a lot of time it'll happen when I'm leaving my buddy Kane's house, who he's done all the layouts for the albums. He's done some shirt designs and stuff for us as well. And a lot of times I'll be leaving his house and I'll just get this riff in my head. And then by the time I get home, I pretty much got like most of the song like mapped out.
Right.
So I try to just get to a guitar and lay it down. But the songs generally will come in one wave. It's weird. Even if it's like not weeks before the next one hits, but it just kind of hits at once. And then I'll get in there and lay the guitars down and map out all the drums and then kind of review it the next day. And that's when Jarvis and I say stick to the plan, I call it there.
Okay.
And we don't want to overthink it. I want the original idea.
Right. So it's really not collaborative as much as it's either you, Jarvis, or the combination just of you two.
It's actually just me pretty much for the music. Okay. Obviously Adam Jarvis will lay down the real drums, but he pretty much sticks to like what I map out. Of course, he is a better drummer than myself, so he'll add his own flair to it. But for the music wise, I pretty much handle the stuff. We've gotten a lot of help from Malcolm Pugh, one of my friends, long-term friends. Okay. He's helped me on the two samples that we've done on Red and Black, Sentenced and Microbes, respectively. And he's a shredding guitar player, actually, for this band Inferi. Okay. But he's also a great composer. So we used to live together back in the day, and I hit him up for this, and I feel like we got something pretty cool we put together.
Oh, yeah. Is this the kind of music that you listen to day to day, or because a lot of times when I talk to death metal guys, they always are like, yeah, I listen to Leonard Skinner or whatever. They're usually a lot of times they're far away from what they actually create.
Yes, it's a mixed bag. Definitely will be jamming the shit out of Dark Funeral and Marduk, Emperor. Um, but it's not just black metal and death metal, but like when I go golfing, it's CCR all day long.
Right.
I wrote off CCR forever. I don't know why I missed out, but this year, for some reason, I just can't get enough. So I listen to a lot of 80s music, a lot of Tears for Fears, Depeche Mode. But when it's time to metal, Flesh God Apocalypse, extreme stuff. When it's time to chill and golf, give me that CCR.
Yeah. There's no Tears for Fears showing up on a Scour record, that's for sure.
You never know.
That would
is a riff in the Phil Anselmo and the Illegals catalog that is directly inspired from a Tears for Fears riff.
No
I won't say which one it is because I didn't write that one, but it's pretty awesome. And now every time we play it, that's all I can hear.
That's awesome. Well, man, speaking of the Illegals, I saw a story somewhere online, so it could be bullshit for all I know, but I saw that the plan in 2021 is that the Illegals are going to go out. You guys are going to do some more shows doing the Pantera music. Should the world decide to open up, is because with that already kind of planned, does that kind of say that there's not going to be any opportunity at all to do Scour as live, even in a couple of shows or anywhere?
No, not saying that at all.
Okay.
The Illegals, we were supposed to go to Europe last summer and do all these festivals, and it was such a bummer that it got canceled. So we're really hoping this COVID bullshit wraps up by July at least. I'm hopeful. We'll see what happens because I know, getting 80,000 people together is, I don't know how that's going to work in Europe, especially, but
right.
Scour has always been like a festival group, where we've only done like a Hellfest or a Roskilde or like some select shows. So we definitely have some offers, and it just kind of fit in where we get in. We've always been a band of non-haters for our own members. So like we got a couple guys in Misery Index, Mark and Adam, and they are super busy. Phil, we're busy with the Illegals and his 40,000 bands. And I think we're still going to try and do some festivals if it works out. It's all pretty much up in the air with the COVID, but
sure,
if the right tour offer comes along, we'll entertain that as well. It's just kind of sitting back at the moment.
Sure. I hear you. Is doing the Pantera music, I don't want you to say, no, I hate doing that, because obviously that's not true, or you wouldn't be doing it. But is it, I'm going to use the word frustrating. You can correct me with any different word you want, but is it frustrating to be doing sets of the Pantera music instead of promoting what I think is some very good music as well with the Illegals? I've loved the Illegals records as well. It almost seems like you cheat yourselves out of getting to profile that music. And while it's different from Pantera, it is, it's valid music on its own.
Awesome to hear. We've done some, or actually quite a few of like mixed sets where we'll do like start out with some Illegals and then deliver the goods, if you will. But for me personally, it's a joy. I love Pantera, and I'm playing bass in the Illegals, and I love playing Rex's bass lines. Never get old. So it's a little easier than grinding some of the Illegals.
Right.
Easier. You definitely got to be on top of your stuff to play Rex's lines, and the haters are watching, so you got to be on top of that shit.
Right.
But it's a pure joy for me to play these songs that I grew up on. I love it. And I haven't actually been on an Illegals record, so maybe that's a little different for me because I'm just playing their songs, trying to do them justice
Sure.
as well. But honestly, I enjoy both, and it's really fun when we get to play both sets as well.
No doubt. Now, Derek, one last quick thing, and I've tried real hard not to focus on Philip here, but I do have a Philip question. I know Phil a little bit. You know, I've known him over the years I've been in radio for 20 whatever years. So I've known him for quite a while. And the one thing that I always take away from him is he's so low key, at least to, me, journalist / fan guy. He's so low key. He's not, well, I'm Philip Anselmo, not to shit on James Hetfield, but Hetfield's definitely harder to approach. Philip always seems like he's willing to approach anybody. He's willing to talk to anybody. If his band is scheduled, whatever band it is, to go on at 2:00, it doesn't seem like he bitches and says, wait a minute, I should be at 10:00. He just seems like all he likes to do is make music and not get hung up in all the bullshit of that. How true is that from you knowing him a whole lot better than me or most people watching?
I mean, that's totally true. It's incredible actually to see, because he'll get recognized everywhere we go.
Sure.
So, I mean, like if we're outside having a smoke before the flight and we see these two armed guards come up and like coming straight at us, and we're like, oh shit, what would he do? And then they're just like, excuse me, Mr. Anselmo, and he'll be like, yeah, and they're like, can we get a photo? And talk to him, and he'll always stop and take the moment and talk to everybody.
Sure.
It's just who he is. He's a fan of music, fan of metal. I feel for him sometimes because he can't go anywhere, can't go anywhere without getting recognized. And then, like, especially in South America, when we go places, it's just hundreds of people waiting outside the hotel. He can't do anything, can't walk anywhere. It's like he's a Beatle 24/7, down there. So I feel for him on that end, because it can be hard when you just need to go somewhere and you have to like meet 400 people or something real quick.
Right.
He's definitely always taking the time, and it's like little things too. Like you see some people that just take a photo and, all right, cool, walk off, or whatever. And but you see Phil when he's meeting these people, even if it's for 10 seconds, he's looking them in the eye, he's like slapping them on the back as hard as hell, or grabbing them, and you can just see these people light up. It's crazy. And no, so he's a genuine dude. Probably the most genuine dude I know, hands down.
Very cool, man. Well, the most genuine record people can get hands down right now is the Black EP. It is Scour. It is absolutely killer. It's not for the weak. I will say that. If you're somebody that thinks Motley Crue is metal, then don't get Scour, because you'll be scared. But for everybody else, definitely check it out, the Black EP. And Derek, where should people go to keep up with Scour and tour dates and all that stuff?
You can check us out, of course, on the socials. Scour Official on Facebook and Instagram, and you can pick up the record from Housecore Records,
cool.
Nuclear Blast, internationally. That would be the definite. We're on Bandcamp, YouTube, we're everywhere. You search for Scour. Although you might find Scour Daddy sponges; those will probably come up if you search.
Yeah, those won't be as abrasive now, will they?
That's debatable, I guess.
Nice. Well, Derek, thanks so much for giving us a couple minutes here on Aftershocks, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
All right, brother.
Thanks for listening to Aftershocks. For more episodes, go to our website at www.aftershockspodcast.com. Visit us on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for more news and information on the podcast. And be sure to subscribe, listen to, and review all episodes on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all other podcast platforms. For your music listening pleasure, visit our website or go to www.shockwavesradio.com. For all comments and questions, please email us at info@aftershockspodcast.com.
All right, everybody, another great interview right here on Aftershocks TV. And before we go, just want to remind you one more time, make sure you get over and subscribe to the CMS Podcast Network, cmspn.com. cmspn.com. You can watch, you can listen, you can subscribe to everything that we do. Not only us, but the classic metal shows, Shockwave Skull Sessions, Talk to Me. It's all there. One site. Get 4 great shows. Never have to do anything again but be entertained. So check it out. cmspn.com, cmspn.com, cmspn.com. Until next time, folks.